Hey, what's up everyone? Coach Seth here. Welcome to the Tone Fit Solution. We are about to snap and pop. This is going to be a fun, short, brief exercise session. So we do have 6 exercises. We have 3 rounds. We're going to be going 45 seconds of work. There's 15 seconds of rest times 3 rounds. I will explain each and every exercise, but you should keep in mind that the rest periods are short. All right, 15 seconds. You got to have whatever you need nearby in the event that you need it. All right, so check it out. We are going to start off with the dumbbell deadlift. All right, you could use 1 dumbbell or 2, and I'm going to show you both. So 2 dumbbells would look like this. You're starting here, and you're standing tall. All right. Cool. 1 dumbbell. You're going to put it on one of its heads. The other one is going to be here. You're going to bring your hands underneath and stand tall from there. Let me show you that side view. All right. And this one, if you're just getting started out, is definitely good enough because you want to say hello to your lower back, your hips, your knees, without screaming at them. Gentle. Right? And then as you start to become more consistent and you need to be challenged at higher levels, then you can grab your other dumbbell and challenge yourself a little bit more. Personally right now, I'm using a 20-pound dumbbell. They're 20 pounders. So you are going to select dumbbells that are within your wheelhouse to do, okay? All right, so next is the flutter kick. You're gonna get on the floor and you are going to put your hands underneath your glutes and your head is gonna be off the ground. So doing flutter kicks here is gonna be less beneficial than being here. My core is definitely contracting more. Now, you don't wanna be looking there. You want your gaze to be up toward the ceiling, and you don't want your feet up here doing them, because that's not going to work. It takes the tension off of your core, all right? So you're going to be right there, rocking and rolling. If, however, your neck starts to become strained, or it starts to hurt, then I definitely encourage you to put your head on the ground, but only if you need to. All right, next up, we're going to stay down. We have the dumbbell floor press. All right, so I like to teach this like this. So you'll start with your dumbbells, vertical, just like that. Pick one up, put it on your thigh, pick the other one up, put it on your thigh, and lay back. Now, there's 2 ways to do this based on your comfort, right? You can have your legs straight. Sometimes this will tighten up lower back. Right? And this position would be a little bit more comfortable. All right? So remember, this is going to give you finishing power. Upper body strength, you're shaping and toning your chest and also your arms, mostly the triceps there. Okay? All right, super cool. So next, we're going to stay low again. Look how thoughtful I was as a coach. I don't have you getting up and down and up and down. We're gonna stay down and you are gonna now do the Russian twist. So I like to offer a variation for this, which I'll show you in a minute, right? Regular way would be here. I shouldn't say regular way, right? Best practice is that you are gonna have your feet up, you're sitting right on your glutes, coming around, touching each side. That's best practice. Second best practice is you have a little bit of support and your feet are still elevated and you just have a little kickstand there, if you will, and you're gonna go back and forth. Third best practice is your feet are just on the floor, all right? And you're going back and forth. All right, do them in the order that I laid out for you. Try them in the order that I laid out for you. All right, with best practice being first. All right, super cool. So next we have the alternating bird dog. Again, we're staying low. I'm trying to touch the wall in front of me with my arm, the wall behind me with my leg. I'm coming back, and that's what it looks like. Just like that. All right. Last but not least, you're going to be on your feet. You're going to grab your dumbbells. You're going to put them right here, and keep your knees locked out. Squeeze your glutes. Keep some intra-abdominal pressure in your core, and squeeze your grips on your dumbbells. Straightening your arm out, nice and straight at the top. Remember, you don't want your arm there when you press. You want joint centration, and when you get it to here, you're pulling it down and pressing the other one up. Pull it down, press the other one up. It's an alternating overhead press. There are all the exercises. We are going to rock and roll. So, reminder, we're going to be 45 on, 15 seconds off. We have 6 exercises, so it's 18 minutes of fun, right? And we're going to rock and roll. Here we go. Started the timer up there. You turn that off. This one's coming on. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Dumbbell deadlift. All right. So there's my hip position. I want you to see that properly. So remember, this is a deadlift. That's a squat. So don't be doing squatty deadlifts. Push your hips back. When you stand up, lock your knees out. Squeeze your glutes. This will certainly shape and tone your body. Before you go heavy, if you sit down a lot, even if your body is strong enough to go heavier in the beginning, and this feels way too easy, I would certainly recommend that you stay on the lighter side for a few reasons. If you sit down a lot, your lower back and hip area, so flutter kick is next, are just not going to be used to the movement. So the last thing you want to do is go too heavy and then be at work tomorrow sitting down, shifting in your chair constantly because there's some tension that built up because you went too heavy. You don't want that. You want to gradually get your body back online. And honestly, this is a mistake that guys make more than ladies because, they can lift heavier things, or they remember when they could and something feels too late and they go too heavy, and the next thing they know, they're carrying tension where they don't want it, and it's irritating. So be warned about that. Sitting down is like the enemy. Remember, we're going to stay low. Plus, if you haven't trained in a while, look at the floor press. If you haven't trained in a while, even though you can lift the weight and you can burn, you have to think about the soreness factor the next day. And some people get more sore 2 days after. So you got to think about the soreness factor and be smart about managing that. I mean, look, the bottom line is if you haven't trained in a while and you're doing some of these functional movement patterns and you're adding an external load, you are going to be sore. It's just a matter of making it manageable so you're not at work the next day cursing me out, saying, that damn Seth, he got me all sore. So just remember, always go lighter, err on the side of caution when you are first getting rocking and rolling again. And your body will tell you when you're ready to take it to the next level. All right, Russian twist is next. Or your coach will tell you when you're ready for the next, to take it to the next level. So, there you have it. You know how to gradually progress. And this is, it's not always about exercise variety. So right now, we're doing 45 on, 15 off. But there are some days where you could do this same program 35 on and 20 off. Less work and more rest. Some days you can do 50 on and 10 off. So you can change these programs and challenge yourself at higher levels. And you'll see that we have done that a little bit for you right in the program. Right? So we're staying low again. We have the alternating bird dog. So this seems to be a lower level exercise, but you are balancing across the diagonal here. Just make sure that your knees are stacked below your hips and your hands are stacked below your shoulders, and you are straightening your knee out. When you straighten your knee, your glute is squeezing, right? Your glute is sort of turning on. That's just hip extension. That's all it is. When you bring your knee in, that's hip flexion, right? So if you're in this position right here, like if I ask somebody, hey, how deeply can you squat? See this? This is a deep squat. That's all it is. Look, it's the same thing. But then when they're squatting on their feet, that's as far as they can go. That means there's an issue with their core as well. So next is the overhead press. So that's sort of how we break down movement here at the Tone Fit Solution, right? If your body can get into the posture when it's unloaded, like on the floor, and then from a standing position, you can't squat, there's an issue, and it needs to be corrected, especially if you're thinking about things like longevity, and I just personally, I want to be able to do all the things that I want to do. And as I get older, I'm 44 now. When I'm 54, when I'm 64, when I'm 74, I want to be able to climb mountains. I want to be able to do active things with my children, and I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make sure that happens. All right, so there we go. One round is complete. We're stepping back up to the deadlift, and I'm going to show you the 2 dumbbell variation, and it looks just like this. Drive right through your entire foot and stand up. You'll notice as soon as I get to my shins, that's when I'm firing it back up and standing up. Definitely a little bit tougher with the 40 pounds as opposed to 20. Can feel it really burning the glutes now, because I'm finishing each rep to its conclusion. All right, back on the floor, Flutter-kicks. So remember, your head is right off of the ground. Gaze up toward the ceiling. I recommend not having an LED light right above you when you're doing this, because it's blinding, so look in a different spot. Keeping that core, you might see a little tiny tremble. My core is engaging. Functional movements are movements that connect your upper body and lower body through your core musculature and innervation, right? You can have the strongest, best looking legs in the world, and you can have this nice, strong, beautiful arms, but if your core is not transferring that strength, right? It's like a regulator. Then you are leaking strength, you're leaking energy. All right, so next up is the dumbbell floor press. Here we go. Almost late to the whistle there. Something we definitely frown upon here at Tone Fit Solution. Be on time to the whistle. Be careful not to be checking your phone for text messages You know, there are going to be things that are circling around in your mind, especially in this busy world that we live in. You know, there's text, there's emails, there's social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever you're into, right? So those things are in the back of your mind, circling. Then you have your children, your spouse, your responsibilities, your work, all these things. You gotta be careful. Oh, I got up and I didn't really need to, because I'm talking too much. Here we go. Russian twist. So definitely don't let those things enter into your workout. This is your me time. This is your time that you're dedicating to yourself for mental clarity and focus, to shape and tone your body, to reduce anxiety, to lift your mood, to take some stress off, right? These things are important. Helps you to be strong for everybody else that you're responsible to take care of, and everything else. All right. So here we go. Alternating bird dog. Assume the position. Don't get too excited. We're just doing alternating bird dogs. All right. Straighten those legs out. Reach your arm nice and straight. If you're at a really high level, you can do those with your knees off the ground. That's if you've been rocking and rolling for a while and you need that exercise to be harder. Every exercise can be made a little bit more difficult, and every exercise can be made a little bit easier. All right? That is the truth. So we are finishing round number 2. We have the alternating overhead press with the dumbbells. 5 seconds more rest. See a little glaze starting to happen here. And here we go. Remember, strength is a skill. So you're not passively lifting this with just this arm. My glutes are tight, my quads are tight, my grip is snug around this thing. You couldn't pull it out of my hand right now, I'll tell you that. And, you know, there's tension in my body. If it was really heavy, I would be doing it with some more intra-abdominal pressure, which means I would be squeezing my stomach a little bit tighter. I don't need to for this weight, but you might, depending on what weight you're using. Remember, 2 seconds here. Remember, you want to be challenged, you want your form to be good, but you do not want it to be a walk in the park or your body is not going to respond. Dumbbell deadlift, coming back to the single. Here we go. Showing you that side view just to make sure you are reminded of what a beautiful, perfect hip hinge looks like. Now I'm just playing. This is where you want your hips. These things will shape those quads. They'll shape those glutes. This in combination with that bird dog, it's a lot of hip extension. It's very good for the caboose. Here we go. All right, next, we're back to the flutter kick. Remember, if any of these exercises are a little bit too hard, or you need a different exercise, you can let me know in the comments. If this is in the Facebook group, you can also message me in the ToneFit app
if you are in a coaching program here, just remember, we have coaching, we help people to transform their bodies from beginning to end. You know, everything from 6-week programs all the way to 1-year programs, full transformations. And that recommendation is based on what you need, right? The recommendation is based on what you need. Next is the dumbbell floor press. So it's not like Walmart where you're walking in and you're choosing what you need off the shelf and you're walking out, right? You think you know what you need. Sometimes you get home and you realize, oh, it's not the right size, or oh, it's not the right material, or oh, that color doesn't look good, you know? Or oh, I already had one in my basement, something. And then you're gonna return it. It's not that kind of party. You know, we're gonna take you through an assessment. You know, there's a check-in form, you're gonna add some pictures. You're gonna have a phone call with us, and we are gonna make the recommendation based on what you're saying you want and need in your life. All right, and of course, it's gonna be our professional recommendation as well, objectively. All right, super cool, Russian twist. Already, we're back to the Russian twist. This is the final round. Can you believe it? Round number 3. Seconds left. Here we go. Staying strong. So happy for you that you were choosing, right, to draw a line in the sand, take a stand for your health and wellness. Here we go, alternating bird dog. And you know, this was so profound when I learned this, but these are things that you get to do. You don't have to do this, you get to do this. To feed your soul, to, you know, make your body strong. You know, it never ceases to amaze me that people fix their cars. They'll make upgrades to their yard, to their house. They'll put in new windows. They'll add a swimming pool. They'll do all these things. They'll paint a fence. Whatever it is, they'll make upgrades to these things that are external to the environment that you live in every day. It's mind-blowing. But then, will not choose to invest in themselves, right? So next, final exercise. Overhead press, it's alternating. You're gonna get tight in the body. By now, you don't need to hear that stuff again. You already know, because you're taking these things that I say and you're adding them to your repertoire of how you think and how you do things. Honestly, a reminder is good, and we all need it sometimes. But if you've been training with me for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and you don't know how to deadlift, that's a problem. If I have to tell you how to do that again, if I have to tell you to lock your elbow out, if I have to tell you to squeeze your glutes, that's a problem. You're not out to lunch during these programs, right? You're learning so it can become a part of you, just like riding a bike. And that is how you will advance to higher levels and not be doing, you know, infrastructural, foundational programming, which there's nothing wrong with. But if everybody likes a little variety, the variety comes when you earn it. So, there we go. It was so much fun to spend this time with you. No one can say they don't have time to work out. You can see this was 18 minutes with a little bit of instruction that you had, maybe 23 or 24 minutes. And now you get to go about your day knowing
that you took care of yourself. Coach Seth here with the Tone Fit Solution, and I'll see you in the next one.